Procrastination is a universal problem, yet it's often misunderstood. Many people think procrastination is simply about being lazy or lacking willpower, but in reality, it's a complex psychological issue. The science behind procrastination reveals that it's not just about delaying tasks, it's about emotions and psychological avoidance. Understanding why we procrastinate is the first step toward overcoming it and unlocking our true potential. The primary reason people procrastinate is to avoid the negative emotions associated with a task. These feelings could include fear, anxiety, or self-doubt. When faced with a difficult task, our brains perceive it as threatening, which triggers a stress response. To cope, we avoid the task, but this avoidance only reinforces the cycle of procrastination. Dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, plays a significant role in procrastination. When we put off a task, we often turn to more pleasurable activities that give us instant gratification. The brain releases dopamine in response to these activities, creating a reward loop. This makes it difficult to focus on long-term goals, as the brain is wired to prioritize short-term rewards. To break the cycle, it's crucial to retrain the brain to prioritize tasks that might not feel rewarding in the moment but lead to long-term benefits. One effective strategy is to break tasks into smaller, more manageable pieces. Research shows that when we break tasks down into smaller steps, it reduces the psychological burden, making the task feel less overwhelming. Another science-backed strategy is to use time-blocking techniques. Time blocking involves setting aside specific periods to work on a task without distractions. Studies have shown that the brain works more efficiently when it knows exactly when to focus and when to take breaks. By dedicating time to specific tasks, we can prevent the distractions that fuel procrastination. The 2-minute rule is another useful tool. It's simple. If a task can be done in 2 minutes or less, do it immediately. This rule, popularized by productivity expert David Allen, is effective because it gets us into the habit of taking immediate action. Completing small tasks right away builds momentum and reduces the likelihood of procrastination. Our environment also plays a critical role in procrastination. A cluttered, disorganized space can increase feelings of stress and make it harder to focus. Research shows that a clean, organized environment promotes mental clarity and helps reduce the temptation to procrastinate. Taking a few minutes to tidy up your workspace can lead to increased productivity and a greater sense of control. Emotional regulation is another important factor in overcoming procrastination. Many people procrastinate because they don't want to experience negative emotions associated with a task. Learning to manage these emotions can help us tackle tasks more effectively. Techniques such as mindfulness and deep breathing exercises can help reduce feelings of stress and anxiety, making it easier to take action. One common misconception about procrastination is that we need to be in the perfect mindset to begin working. However, the science of motivation suggests that motivation often follows action, not the other way around. This is known as the activation paradox. We wait for motivation to strike, but taking small actions often generates the motivation needed to continue working. The concept of self-compassion also plays a crucial role in overcoming procrastination. People who are overly self-critical tend to procrastinate more because they fear failure. By practicing self-compassion and understanding that mistakes are part of the learning process, we can reduce the fear of failure that keeps us stuck. Being kind to ourselves increases the likelihood of taking action and making progress. Another effective strategy is setting specific goals. Research shows that having clear, measurable goals significantly increases our chances of success. Instead of setting vague objectives like work on the project, set clear goals such as write 500 words or complete the outline. Specific goals create a sense of direction and purpose, making it easier to take the first step and continue making progress. In addition to setting goals, it's important to create a sense of urgency. Studies have shown that we're more likely to act when there is a time constraint. By setting deadlines for ourselves, whether they are self-imposed or external, we create a sense of urgency that compels us to act. Without deadlines, we may continue to delay tasks indefinitely, as there is no immediate pressure to get started. Procrastination is also linked to the fear of failure. When we perceive a task as difficult or risky, we may delay it because we're afraid of not succeeding. Reframing the task as a challenge, rather than a threat, can help reduce this fear. Viewing failure as an opportunity to learn and grow encourages us to take action, even when we're uncertain about the outcome. Social accountability is another powerful tool for combating procrastination. When we share our goals with others, we increase the likelihood of following through. Research has shown that people are more likely to complete tasks when they have someone to report progress to. Whether it's a colleague, friend, or family member, having an accountability partner can help keep us on track. Understanding the role of dopamine in motivation and procrastination is essential for long-term change. By focusing on the rewards of completing a task, rather than the discomfort of starting, we can increase our motivation. It's important to celebrate small victories along the way, as the brain is more likely to stay engaged when it receives positive reinforcement. In conclusion, procrastination is a complex issue, but it's not an insurmountable one. By understanding the science behind procrastination and implementing research-backed strategies, we can retrain our brains to focus on long-term goals. The key is to take action no matter how small and build momentum over time. The more we practice, the easier it becomes to stop procrastinating for good. The Pomodoro technique is another scientifically backed strategy to overcome procrastination. This method involves working in focused 25-minute intervals, followed by a short break. After 4 intervals, take a longer break. Research shows that working in bursts helps maintain focus, reduce mental fatigue, and enhance productivity. The Pomodoro technique helps you stay on task while preventing burnout, making it an ideal tool for breaking procrastination. Another crucial part of overcoming procrastination is the idea of progressive task management. Instead of facing overwhelming tasks head-on, break them down into smaller, more manageable chunks. This approach makes the task feel less intimidating and reduces mental resistance. You'll feel more confident as you check off smaller tasks, building momentum toward completion. One way to make tasks feel more achievable is by visualizing success. When you imagine the satisfaction of completing a task, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical it releases when you achieve a goal. Visualization doesn't just help motivate you, it also makes tasks feel more attainable. Positive imagery encourages you to take the first step and stay focused until the task is done. It's also important to identify your personal procrastination triggers. Are you more likely to procrastinate when you're tired? Are certain tasks more difficult for you than others? By pinpointing your triggers, you can develop strategies to combat them. For example, if you tend to procrastinate when tired, schedule tasks that require more mental energy during your peak productivity times. Another powerful strategy is to use implementation intentions. This technique involves creating a specific plan of action. For example, instead of saying, "I'll work on my project," say, "I'll work on my project for 30 minutes at 10 a.m. in the library." Implementation intentions turn vague goals into actionable steps, making it easier to follow through. When facing procrastination, it's also important to examine the underlying causes. Procrastination often stems from fear of failure, perfectionism, or lack of clarity. Identifying these root causes allows you to address the psychological barriers that fuel procrastination. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) can help you reframe negative thought patterns that contribute to avoidance behavior. If you find yourself procrastinating because of a lack of motivation, try using the concept of temptation bundling. This involves pairing a task you don't want to do with something you enjoy. For example, allow yourself to watch a favorite TV show while doing a less enjoyable task, like organizing your desk. This association helps motivate you to complete the task. Another key strategy is the concept of reframing your mindset. Instead of viewing a task as a burden, view it as an opportunity to learn or grow. For example, rather than thinking, "I have to do this," think, "I get to do this." Changing your language can alter the way you approach tasks, making them feel more positive and less daunting. A great way to prevent procrastination is to adopt a mindset of self-accountability. Regularly ask yourself if you're truly staying on task or procrastinating. Self-checking helps you stay honest with yourself and ensures that you're working toward your goals. This technique encourages responsibility and allows you to remain focused on the bigger picture. The use of rewards is another effective tool for overcoming procrastination. Rewarding yourself for completing tasks can boost motivation and create a positive feedback loop. For instance, after finishing a task, reward yourself with something enjoyable, like a treat or time spent on a favorite activity. Rewards can reinforce productive behavior and make the process more enjoyable. One overlooked but crucial aspect of overcoming procrastination is building self-discipline. This involves cultivating habits that support consistent effort. Start by setting small goals and gradually increasing the level of difficulty. Over time, this will help you develop greater self-control and improve your ability to follow through on tasks without procrastination. It's important to accept imperfection as part of the process. One of the main reasons people procrastinate is the fear that they won't perform perfectly. Accepting that progress, not perfection, is the goal frees you from the pressure of getting everything right. Perfectionism often paralyzes people into inaction, so embracing mistakes as part of the learning process is essential. Another strategy is to focus on the long-term benefits of completing a task. When you are tempted to procrastinate, ask yourself, what will I gain from finishing this? Shifting your focus to the positive outcomes of completing the task can help you find the motivation to keep going. Whether it's the satisfaction of checking it off your list or the relief from avoiding future stress, focusing on the rewards can help you stay on track. When working toward overcoming procrastination, consider the role of environmental factors. Make your environment conducive to focus and productivity by eliminating distractions. This could mean putting your phone on airplane mode, setting up a quiet workspace, or creating a time for uninterrupted work. A clean, organized workspace can foster a sense of clarity and focus. Finally, seek professional help if procrastination becomes chronic and affects your ability to function. Sometimes, procrastination is a symptom of deeper issues, such as anxiety, depression, or ADHD. A therapist or counselor can help you explore these underlying causes and offer strategies tailored to your specific situation. There's no shame in seeking help to address procrastination, especially when it significantly impacts your life. In conclusion, overcoming procrastination is not about relying on willpower alone. It's about understanding the psychological factors that fuel it and using science-backed strategies to break the cycle. By setting clear goals, prioritizing tasks, and changing your mindset, you can take control of your productivity. The key is to take small steps each day, building momentum toward long-term change. Overcoming procrastination is possible, and with the right tools, you can achieve your goals and unlock your full potential.